What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Ron back with another video. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. On the road to 1,000 subs, baby. Let's get it. Alright, so if you're new to the platform, please subscribe. If you're an OG, appreciate the love and support. Now let's go ahead and jump into it. Oh man, I gotta keep it a buck with you guys. I've been asked to react to this whole Roe versus Wade situation, and this kind of hits on a personal level. I don't know if I've spoken about this before, but some years ago, I was looking forward to being a father, and because men don't have reproductive rights, let's just say that choice was made for me, and I didn't become a father. So for the people who probably been wondering, like, damn, why come Rome ain't react to this yet? That's why. Because it's really personal, and between the death of Kevin Samuels, it was like, between that and then now this, I'm just kind of like, because I got mixed views, mixed feelings, mixed emotions when it comes to this. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it.
And I've been saying this on every podcast, please don't edit this. I'm gonna need all these black men out here to rise up and start fighting for abortion rights, okay? I done taken a knee, I done taken to the street, I've done the demonstration, and now we must move on to legislation to protect black women and the rights to their bodies. And everybody want to talk about Kevin.
Now, this is the reason why I led with what I told y'all what happened to me personally. This is why when people ask me if I'm pro-life or pro-choice, I can't really give you an answer, because I understand both sides, and both sides have very valid points. And I think it just comes down to personal preference, and coming from somebody like myself who was really looking forward to potentially being a father, only to have that taken away from me simply because as a man I don't have any reproductive rights. I'm like, that can make any man feel away. So it's just hard for me to pick a side. And even before that happened to me, I had a hard time picking a side because it came to this. Because at the end of the day, as a man, I don't have any say in it. So as a man, how can you choose pro-life or pro-choice when you as a man have no reproductive rights? Like, you see what I mean? I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know. Let's keep it moving.
Samuels and sevens and women being sixes and this, that, and the other, but nobody is really paying attention to how quickly women are losing their reproductive rights. How quickly we are seeing things like CRT being removed. That's black history. That ain't nothing but black history. Don't say gay bill. What's next? You can't say sexuality, which I don't think in Florida you can. So how do we get closer to having good sex? If we have repressive laws that are not even at the forefront, honey, it's DoorDash. They finna ring the doorbell, okay? And it will only send our communities backwards, because if you look at the states that this is happening in, there are huge numbers of marginalized people of color. And it is a quick pipeline to prison when you grow up in poverty. So we really, listen, I did all the marching in 2020. I will continue to march for a black man. But I really need to encourage black men to get behind this abortion rights fight. Educate your...
Like I said, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. See, like George Floyd, that was completely different. That was completely different from what you're talking about here. You're literally asking for men to stick their necks out for something that they literally have no control over when push come to shove. I mean, you talk about being selfless. And this is coming from a person that should have been a father. Like, if she would have had that child would have been damn near 10 years old by now. Yeah, because when she got pregnant, she got pregnant in 2012. So she would have gave birth in 2013 because it was late 2012. Well, yeah, it was like the summer of 2012. So, she probably, based off of time, and she probably would have had the baby close around my birthday. My birthday is in March. So, oh yeah. By the way, me and Kevin Samuels share the same birthday, y'all. Imagine that. Like mine, I'm March 13th, 85. He's 69. I'm like, ain't that crazy? Like, that's a fun fact that I found out about Kevin Samuels after his passing, like about a week or so ago. I actually found that out hopping on Donovan Sharp's live. So I don't know. That's a tall task to ask a man when men as a collective have no reproductive rights whatsoever. But I can see why she would ask men to do that, because if women lose these rights, then guess what? You're gonna start having more guys being fathers that really don't want to be fathers. Catch-22. Like I said, that's why I can't really choose between pro-life or pro-choice.
Yourself, know your state laws. Identify local clinics, communities, organizations that you can donate to. If you don't want to donate to Planned Parenthood, I can't tell you who to donate to. They're a big funder, but there are also a lot of really great organizations. Texas, Jane's Due Process. There are organizations all over the country. Please educate yourself, because it is, I cannot stress it enough. My boobs and my armpits are sweating because it makes me scared. It's happening. Right. And we're going to be, and a lot of men are going to end up fathers when they did not want to.
Yep. Dang, I literally just said that. Ain't that crazy? That's what I'm saying. That's the one thing. That's like the one negative. That's the one concern about this overturn. Like, you're going to start seeing way more guys being fathers that don't want to be fathers. Or they're going to have to be. But see, this is why, either that or you're going to start seeing adoption clinics skyrocket. One or the other. Let's keep it moving.
I mean,
a lot more.
I'm like, isn't that happening now in the black community? Like,
we're a condom.
How many
states is
I say that all the time. They don't agree with me. I feel like men.
No, I do agree. I do agree. No, that is true. Yeah. I do agree with that, but sometimes when I feel like women have over 33 forms of contraceptive, and you telling a guy like,
whoa, how much more time we got? Because do you know the type of shit? Do you know the type of shit that those hormones do to our bodies?
That's fair. It's fair. I understand.
And plus, you got the loaded gun. Why would you keep putting? If you know you don't have a choice in their decision that they're gonna make, why give them that opportunity?
That's fair. That's fair. I give you that, but I just feel like it's a woman's womb and the history of her womb and being single parent. You know what I mean? The history we have in our black community. Why, as a woman, are you not protecting your womb and what goes inside your womb?
And I can say the same thing about a dude when you know you're about to get trapped.
Seed.
Yeah, you about to get trapped.
I mean, it takes 2 cells. You know what I'm saying?
Like I always said, sex is an equivalent exchange. Childbirth is one-sided. You know what I mean? Like,
so why put yourself in that situation?
Well, I get what you're saying, but as a woman with the history of single-parent households, why would you willingly put yourself in that situation?
Exactly. See, I feel where he coming from. Homie over there, I don't know, man. See, and this is one of those, which one comes first, the chicken or the egg. I look at it this way. Takes 2 cells, takes 2 to tango, whatever you say and you want to use. I agree with all that. Valid. Very valid. But if women have way more forms of contraceptives than men, and y'all carry all the reproductive rights, and men have literally all we have is condoms and pull out and pray. That's literally all we got. That's literally all we got. And women still, it's one of the things that I struggle with the most when it comes to women, man. It just amazes me how much more this world, especially in the West, how the world is coddled to them, yet and still we're held to such a higher standard than them. I mean, just think about that. Think about all the safety nets women have in this world, and yet and still they hold men to such a higher man. It's mind-blowing, bro. Let's keep it moving.
Because that's another episode. You should bring me back.
Yeah, okay.
But what I will say to that is, because we've been indoctrinated to believe that what makes us a woman is our ability to bear children.
That's fair. That is fair.
We have been psychologically told, like, I'm an anomaly because I don't want kids. Because I don't believe I need to have a child crawl out of my womb to raise them. And I've raised children. And I will continue to raise seeds. For all of those people who at whatever given time, for whatever given reason, aren't able to do that, I have the ability to be a part of a village and many villages where I can help raise up children. And maybe we need to take ourselves back to our ancestors and start looking at life like that a little bit more.
Shit, they had the blueprint. We was better off in that
then the
black
white man
community
came.
at that time. But
Nah, that's because back then we didn't have social media, hookup culture, internet, the feminist movement, no birth control. You know, y'all didn't have all the safety nets that y'all have now. I was literally just talking about that. That's why. Let's keep it moving.
we appreciate you for pulling up. This is a great conversation.
You had a question.
I did.
You were about to ask me how many states are up to lose.
Oh, yeah. I know, was it Texas that recently passed a bill to stop abortions? Like, how many states stop?
So Texas just passed. Florida just reduced the weeks from, I think, 21 to 15. Iowa just passed a statute. If Mississippi falls, which would be the end of Roe v. Wade, 26 states could change their laws with the stroke of a pen. There would be no court. There would be no hearing. It would be the stroke of a pen.
Do you think that, I know we going over, but if you could make this simple as possible, do you think this law is being passed to try to, like, preserve whiteness or preserve the birth rates? Because there's studies that show that the birth rates in America is declining. You know, so some people might equate this law to kind of help, you know, with that birth rate either being at a steady pace or kind of increasing. Like, do you think that has anything to correlate with each other?
I think it has to do with capitalism, right? I think the direct root is capitalism. The idea that if we can further oppress people who are already oppressed, we in power can stay in power. We know what the science says about single parent homes, regardless of color, right? Let's go beyond color.
Right.
Look at the socioeconomics of a 2-parent home versus a 1-parent home. Right. Furthermore, how about the legacy of generational wealth?
Facts.
How do you build that when you're just trying to feed your children while living in the projects, which if you look at how projects are set up, oftentimes they're set up in areas that are environmentally not as safe, which can lend itself to the high asthma rates of people of color. Additionally, those same poverty-stricken communities do not have access to good food. When you don't have access to good food, you have higher rates of...
Ain't no Whole Foods in the hood, I'll tell you that.
Hello? You have higher rates of poverty, you have higher rates of diabetes, heart disease, okay, obesity, you know. Then, as somebody who worked in schools for many, many years, if you living in a food desert and you eating Cheetos for breakfast, how you gonna stay awake for your 3rd class, your 4th class? Now you sleeping in class. Now your grades is slipping. Now you're having sugar crashes in the middle of the day. And now we have to put you on the disciplinary track. That is a quick pipeline to prison.
Wow. Woo! Man, she just broke that down. That's a lot to unpack right there. Man, let me start with this first, because this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to react to this. Is as much as I didn't want to react to it because it hits for me personally, but in my personal opinion, I think the reason why why they're going through so much trouble to overturn these reproductive rights for women is because the birth rate has declined so much. Elon Musk just made a statement like about a week or so ago that he's worried about not having enough people for jobs in the future because of declining birth rates. Elon Musk, richest man in the world. And I mean, she said a lot. I mean, but everything she said was valid though. Because when you think of capitalism, I'm like, what? That's a very tactical way to keep the rich rich and the poor poor. Like, yeah, I'm like, y'all ain't liking daddy government so much now, are you? I'm telling you, for real. I want to end this by saying this. Like I said, this was tough for me because this is personal. And after watching this, and even after hearing everything she had to say, I still couldn't tell you whether I'm pro-life or pro-choice, to be honest with you. I genuinely respect both views from both sides, and I genuinely think both sides have valid views. It's tough. And it's like I said, it's even tougher for me because I've literally gone through what some men in this country go through when they actually want to be a father, but the woman chooses otherwise. Now, what would have happened if I didn't want to be a father and she did, and she did want to have the baby? She could have put me up. She could have put me up for child support, and I wouldn't have been able to do nothing about it. And if I didn't pay, I would have got locked up. So much for equality, man. Like I said, this is why I have a hard time choosing pro-life or pro-choice. It's tough. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, because this is a very sensitive, touchy subject. I don't know. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. And if you're OG, appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all liking the video, hitting the notification bell. Help with the algorithm, man. Help me get these 1,000 subs, y'all. All right, to the next video, y'all. Deuces.